Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and did you know that every redstone circuit could be converted into a line? Yeah, so these are things that we've kind of talked about before in JRSC, Journey to a Redstone Computer, is that every single redstone circuit can be converted into a series of OR and NOT OR gates, or just redstone lines, and then torches or NOT gates. I will have to admit that I did recently reach the kind of end of my knowledge of both redstone and computer engineering concepts. I think it's because I'm missing like one class I'm about to take next semester. And so there's like this gap in my knowledge where there were some things I didn't know. But I recently learned this new awesome thing called a PLA. Basically, it's called a programmable logic array. So right here is a very simple one. And what's used to do is take a series of lines. For instance, here we have 3 and do a set of operations on them. Now, each one of these represents a different combination, and you can tell what they are by a couple small things. A torch represents a NOT. Now, because we put a NOT gate on each of these, though, it means ANDing. So this means everything on this line here will be ANDed together. So that looks like we have A and C. So if we flip C and we flip A, hey, look at that. That one turns on. Now, if we flip this line, those toggle, because you now also have right here, this comparator sends a signal downwards onto this line, effectively making that a NOT, because we're NOTing down here. So this is NOT B and C. And then right here, over on this far side, is A, B, and C. So if all 3 are on, it activates. Typically, when you do build these, though, you sometimes will separate everything out into multiple lines. So for instance, if we just take our A line here, you might take and do this number, go out 1 extra block like that, add a dust there and a torch here, and have A and A NOT be 2 separate lines. I kind of don't like it. That's why I added the comparator here, because I think this looks smoother and compacts the design. But you can still make these a lot bigger. So right here is a 2-layer PLA. So I'll start by explaining what all is going on. So you have your 3 lines here, and then you have 3 separate, and then you have 3 separate lines. Something you can also do, you notice how we were ANDing things over here? We are taking the NOT of something by taking its direct line here, because of how all that works, and just kind of think about it for a second. It'll probably click together, right? Because normally we would put a NOT gate here, and now we're not doing that, thus it's knotted. Because not A is A, if that makes sense. And if you would like to know more, I believe I did an episode on Boolean algebra. But also, you can NAND things together, which is not A and B. Could also be simplified to something like not A or not B. So sit down and think about that for a second. And then picture how we might be able to get away with that. So, as mentioned before, when you're knotting things, you knot and then knot it. Now, sadly, because of how redstone works, you can't do that directly. We actually have to knot twice here. Why? Because we have to detect that both of them are active, right? Not A and B. I believe that is wrong. Yep. Not A or not B. Yep. Just like that. Okay. You'll know what these equations do in a moment. But so we're taking not A and not, or A NAND B, or not A and B together. Or you could also say it as not A or not B. I know I'm rambling, and I'm sorry. But this is kind of, this gets complicated, but just sit down and look at the lines here. We're knotting it, so not A, not B, and then this is just a redstone line, so that's an OR gate. Right here is another AND gate, because we're taking not A, or not B, we're taking, this is A and D. I don't know why I was saying A and B. B and C then are ANDed together here, because we're taking not A, not B, or not B, not C, and then we're knotting that, making it an AND gate. And then this goes up, and will trigger onto these lines. And then the same thing here, we're taking B and C and D, and then putting it into this line. So before I show these equations, I want you guys to go ahead and sit down and think, put down in the comments below what you think these two equations are based off of this little bit of circuit here. Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. So this equation here, the blue circuit, is not A and B, or not A or not B, right? And C and D. So, and if you look here, we are ANDing this white circuit, which remember was A NAND D. It's A NAND D. I put these backwards. I think I thought that this was B for some reason when I was writing the circuits up. But either way, right? A NAND D, A NAND B. You can call them what you will. The variables are still the same. And then this circuit here is taking the AND of B and C. That's ANDing together, and then those two are getting ANDed together here to give out this operation. And this circuit here is ANDing these two. Now, as a short hint, you might have noticed something though. I put all three of these, so this right here is B and C and D. Well, that's because it was only used on one line. And that allowed us to take advantage of that short circuit because of how this line worked. It is C and D, and this is our B and C, and this is B and C and D. Those all get together and form an AND gate right here, allowing us to kind of take advantage of those. You can simplify a lot of these circuits down, and the PLA is wonderful. If you go and look them up, they're kind of these complex looking things where you have like a triangle. To one side is a bubble, and to one side is just a line, and those both form a line. That's where we were having that A and not A, like this over here. And then you'll see these little lines going through it. That's representing what's called a min term, which is basically a simplified Boolean algebra equation. And this right here represents a midterm. And then what you do is you just place an X on the things that you want to AND together, because typically these use an AND gate. This was actually the reason why I could not understand RAM from my textbook, because I didn't understand PLAs. But gladly I do know now, so you guys will hopefully be able to see more of these videos in the future. If you guys do have any suggestions, I would love to hear them down below. Also, make sure to check out Nubasaurus. He's a really good person if you do want to check out. He's already got a whole series together on how to do this. He's using other materials, unlike me, who's trying to do this by himself because I'm a loser. But without further ado, this is Negative Light signing out, and God bless y'all.